¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome to another video. My name is Pedro Millán. If you've never heard of me or seen any one of my videos, I literally have two SMMAs that get more than six figures every single year. On top of that, we have more than 100 appointments booked and 68 million views for our clients the past 2 years that we've been running. And we have a Grammy to our name in one of the campaigns that we actually ran back in 2025. Not trying to sell you anything, just want you to basically make more content so you can make money online. Anyway, let's get into the video. So, you've seen the news. If you're in the US, you probably saw the news that Venezuela is trending, right? So like apparently they captured Maduro, and that's a whole thing. Obviously super special to the Venezuelans out there. Shout out to my friends from Venezuela. But this is why content creators should care. So CNN's talking about it, BBC's talking about it. And creators always do the same thing. Like when something trending or the news comes up and they just either ignore it completely or they panic post something random just to ride the wave, basically. So if you're trying to make money online in 2026 using content, right, both those things are the wrong move. What you want to be able to do is what I'm going over in this video, which is essentially I'm going to show you how to use big news trends, et cetera, things of that nature that happen in the world like this to basically grow your brand without turning you into a discount news channel and without confusing your algorithm or your audience overall. So let's get into it. So first of all, why does this even matter, right? Every week, you have to understand every week that there's going to be a Venezuela moment, meaning war, elections, celebrity drama, money, inflation, discounts, earthquakes. It really doesn't matter, right? And every time creators do literally the same thing, they post the same half-baked hot take, or it basically does okays in views because of the fact that they're just riding a wave. But now their content identity is mush. It's like literally not even consistent, right? So if content is supposed to be about fitness or making money with content or I don't know, freaking photography, filmography, all this, that, and a third. And then suddenly dropping a random trending situation just because they feel like it would actually boost their views and has no clear angle, it doesn't necessarily help you, right? So like the algorithm might give you a little boost, I'll be honest, because it's a trending topic, but confused people won't click, right? And confused people don't buy. So instead of asking yourself, how do I talk about Venezuela in this situation just so I can get views, right? Well, I want you to start asking more productive question, which is essentially, how do I use moments like Venezuela that happen in the news or stuff that is trending to reinforce my niche and my offers, right? And that's what this whole video is about. So the first thing that I want to make very, very clear is that you're not Fox, you're not CNN, you're not BBC, you are a studio, okay? You as the creator, you make content by making content based upon what's happening in the world first, plus being consistent and clear. CNN, BBC, any other news channels, Fox, they make money just by being first, okay? They just basically tell you what's happening in the world. Otherwise, the difference between you and basically CNN and all these other news streaming platforms is that you have to be consistent with what you provide, right? Because otherwise people won't tune in. If people are basically watching the news, they can guarantee that they're going to get the news first from whatever channel that they decide that they want to watch. However, you are not a news channel, so you have to take that in consideration. Your brand should be built around evergreen value and what is most enticing to your viewer or your audience overall. So I want you to stop thinking, should I cover this story? And instead, I want you to start thinking about how can this story or this hook bring value to the people back to my core topics, right? So, for example, if Venezuela is trending, then you'd be like, in my case, right, as far as like helping creators make money online with content, is like what this reminds creators about platform risk and why you need an email list. Bars. Another one could be another platform ban like Australia, right? It's like, here's how your main app can disappear and how to protect your personal brand. Okay? Very simple, right? Myself and everybody else in the world is not in the news business, especially if you're on YouTube, right? You're in the asset business, essentially building a library, building authority, building offers that make sense for you and that actually pay you for years, right? Next thing that I want to take into consideration is the rule of 3. I have the rule of 1 that I talk about on this channel a bunch, but that's just for making content. But we're going to use the rule of 3 in this sort of situation before you use any other trend, right? So before you touch any trending topic, I want you to run through these 3 questions. The first one is, can I tie this directly to my audience's problem, right? How does this matter to somebody trying to lose weight, make money with content, learn how to cook, learn how to make bread. And essentially the angle would be, for example, like for my channel, which would be helping other people make money with content online, it'd be like, all right, well, I need to stress to my audience, the only real security that you have, especially with all these world events happening, is an audience that you own and the skills that you have. Okay? So that way, Australia can't come through the woodwork, Venezuela can't come through the woodwork, and what's going on with every other country on the planet right now, you own everything. So then therefore, you can literally take those skills and everything that you've built from the content that you've created to somewhere else, no matter what. And if you can't make the connection in one or two sentences, then you drop it. It's not in your brand. It's not part of what you say. It's not part of what you preach, right? Question number 2, essentially, does this reinforce my positioning or confuse it, right? For example, like myself, I help creators create content systems to make money online. So my trend angle, right, would be about systems, workflows, safety nets, right? Or for example, like on the flip end, if I just helped out people with short form content, it would be, I help businesses get clients with short form content. And the angle would be like attention, hooks, retention, leverage, and not geopolitics, right? So if posting about something makes your channel look like MSNBC one day and then content coach the next, and then you're basically training people to not to know what you do, then you might not want to talk about that specific topic. And the third question is, will this make sense in 6 months, right? If it's not going to make sense to you in a week, it's probably not going to make sense to you in 6 months. It's like, yes, the story could be a hook, or it'd be something really enticing that people are really talking about right now, and it can be timeless. However, what we're trying to aim for here is evergreen content, stuff that could literally be searched on a consistent basis. Like I have a video that I'm actually working on right now on how to batch 100 videos in just one day, right? That would make so much sense for me. However, for somebody in the fitness industry, it'd be like how to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks, right? Without losing muscle mass. Shout out to muscles, you know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that you're using the news and trends and just like current events as context, not as necessarily the product that you're trying to sell online, being your personal brand or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So here are also 3 different video formats that you can actually steal from the news. For example, format 1 would be news as a metaphor, right? Venezuela is trending, which is the one that I use right now. Venezuela is trending. Here's what content creators are missing, or here's what content creators should know. And here's why content creators should care, right? The hook is essentially Venezuela is everywhere on my feed today, and it reminded me of something that most creators don't want to hear, right? That's essentially how I would break that down. The point that I would be making in this video, which I'm literally making to you right now, is that things can change overnight. Platforms, news, laws, ad, politics, it doesn't matter. The lesson here, though, is that why you need an audience of your own, either an email list or a CRM or anywhere that you put people's personal information, and why your personal brand and skills can still pay you years out into the future, even if one app disappears, right? And the call to action would be like, you know, subscribe to the channel or whatever it is that I'm trying to sell. However, that's basically one format, but that's the format I'm using for this video. So I'm basically using the format to you guys to express the example, right? The second format is essentially using the news as a hook, and then evergreen is the body, right? So like, for example, when the world feels unstable, your content strategy shouldn't, right? So you're basically talking about between Venezuela trending, wars, elections, it feels like the whole world is on fire, right? And then you transition to, if you're a creator, this is exactly why you can't afford to be random with your content. And then you would essentially drop your frameworks, like mine for rule of 1, which means one niche, one channel, one problem, one content bank, one batching system, and one planner to repost, right? And then you would bring it home, basically tying the whole thing together, right? And you could either do that in a video essay or just a talking head video just like this, or any way that you feel like would be creatively and productively important or appropriate, if I would say. Now, format 3 would be using the news as a case study in platform risk, right? In the sense of like, it can either be platform risk or an example of how it can affect your industry. So in my industry, it would be platform risk, right? So what if your main platform was gone tomorrow? Right? If your main app literally vanished tomorrow, this is the example, the way some platforms get blocked or restricted in certain countries, would you still be making money? So then I would provide a story, right? Like a story briefly referencing how fast things can change in different countries, in different economies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I would teach why you need to have a backlog of content, have a system to repost, have at least one off-platform asset, right? And then do a call to action. Very simple. So like I said, 3 formats that you can use literally today in any niche. I was just giving you the example. And the first example is exactly what I'm doing to make this video. Does that make sense? Now, I also want to make sure that at the end of the day, you understand that Venezuela is just a today's headline, okay? Next week, it will be something else, I promise you. What doesn't change, though, is this. If you depend on one app, one algorithm, one country, one source of traffic, you are fragile. You are not a business. You are fragile. If you build a clear personal brand, a clear content system, a clear foundation of videos that you can basically drip out, and a way to get your audiences off platform, then you're in a way better position than most content creators on the planet that's just basically chasing every headline just for views. Your goal is not to be first. That's what the news does. Your goal is to be remembered and paid, okay? So anyway, I hope you like this video. It's a little different as far as from the stuff that I usually do, but I felt like it was relevant, especially with like stuff that's going on to Venezuela. Once again, thank you so much to all my Venezuelan friends. You guys are awesome. I'm super happy that everything is going great with you, especially with the news happening and whatnot. We're going to see how that affects the country overall and also Cuba for all my friends in Cuba. But anyway, if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe and turn your bell notifications on because I put videos out like this every single day, literally 1 or 2 every single day, and you don't want to miss them. They're literally about making content and how to make money online with content, if that makes sense. And if you're interested in actually learning how to do an SMMA, like literally how to create a business that makes content for other people or does just social media marketing for other businesses and get to a 6-figure income in less than 90 days, click the first link in the description. We have a coaching program, course, and modules that you basically learn how to do that in less than 3 months. So, and on top of that, if you like the video so much, there's another video around here that YouTube actually recommended. You actually click on that and don't stop watching now. And I really appreciate it, my man. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Peace.